Hello everyone. My name is Mabel Sanchez Barrioluengo and I'm the theme lead for digital economy. I'm senior lecturer in science policy and innovation and the deputy director of the Manchester Institute of Innovation Research. So here starts probably our first connection with the institutes being part on what it was Columnary before, but also in the platforms. So in the digital economy theme, we try to understand organizations, probably because many of us are located at the Alliance Manchester Business School. Firms, it will be one of the main organizations we are looking at, but we cannot forget about others as well, not only firms. We try to understand the readiness of these organizations to adopt digital technologies, but also the cost and the implications that might have at the organizational level. That might be the skills that companies and other organizations might need. That might be investing in training for their own workers, but also understanding who are the new employees they might need. So clearly, this links with the cutting capability that we have in digital futures that is around skills and the skills also for our students. I think I want to raise that in digital economy, we don't focus only on AI as a technology, and this is one of the characteristics of what we call the Industry 4.0 era. AI is that connecting technology that brings together big data, cloud computing, 3D printing, and robotics, and is the understanding on how they all connect together and what are the implications for the economy, for the sectors, and for the organizations, what we try to understand within the research we do at the University of Manchester. So that's some of the technologies I just put in because we have expertise on AI and robotics, advanced manufacturing, specifically 3D printers. Being the University of Manchester and being located in Greater Manchester with the tradition of the region in manufacturing is really important that we don't forget this type of digital technologies and what it brings to our closest regional businesses as well. And fintech is part of the financial service revolution. It's also part of the transformative technologies we try to understand within the digital economy. So changes in the companies, changes in the business models, but also how companies will be doing things differently to innovate, it's really at the core of the research we do here in digital economy. There are some drivers or some reasons why we think understanding the digital economy and the impact of this digital transformation in the economy is important. It tends to drive, or we expect that it drives efficiency, it drives productivity, hopefully in the long term, but will also help companies and organizations to be more efficient in decision making, and that has a long-time impact in the economy. I think one of my colleagues already mentioned the importance that this is not about the technology taking place, the people, but it's about the collaboration and the human-centric approach we want to put or we want to understand in the impact of the technology on economy. I think digital economy and other themes like digital society are very interlinked. It's very difficult to separate them. So we work together in some of the activities in order to understand what are this impact and these challenges. So I listed here some of the challenges that our researchers in digital economy are trying to understand. And that's because a couple of years ago, we launched a national survey in the UK asking companies the level of adoption of digital technologies. Again, not only AI, but also others. And what we understood is that if you speak with our engineers colleagues, they will really think that the technology is really advanced. When you speak with companies, they think, or they have not adopted the technologies as much as we can. So that introduces digital divides. What we saw in our research is that outside London, the use of the technologies are much less and much less adopted by companies compared to other regions. There are unequal access to these technologies. Small and business enterprises tend to find much more challenges. What are the barriers for these difficulties in the adoption and use of technologies is part of our understanding and hopefully contribution to policy, because I think it's important to to say that in our digital economy theme, we have good connections with policymakers, not only regionally, nationally, but also in Europe and outside Europe. And it's because initiatives like the industrial strategy, the adoption, sorry, the DCIT launch last year at the end of 2024, a massive understanding, a massive call for understanding what were the barriers for technology adoptions, and we were able to contribute to that. So these complex dimensions of the impact of the technology in the economy and in organizations is part of what we do in digital economy. Not to forget that the ethical component, I think several of my colleagues have already mentioned, the ethical dimension of the implementation of these digital technologies is also at the core of the digital economy theme. So, no, that's not that one, it was this one. So these are some of the institutes and centers that are working. Again, it's not an exclusive list, it's just the starting point. All of them, and here I'm completely biased, are in the business school, so please speak with me. I want to expand my own knowledge on that. But I think many of the research done on digital economy will be placed within the Faculty of Humanities, but I'm sure there will be other places that I can explore where digital economy would resonate with the activities they do. So the Productivity Institute, that is a national institute with headquarters in Manchester, has been focusing on digital diffusion, on specific sectors like professional services, healthcare, or the public sector, which connects clearly with themes like Sabine was mentioned before. The Manchester Institute of Innovation Research, we have been working on the responsible AI, responsible digitalization, the ethics of AI, but also the implication of AI in science. So for ourselves as researchers, what are we doing differently and what are the implications in our research of using AI as part of the tools we have? The Work and Equality Institutes that are looking at the impact of digital technologies in the workplace, in well-being, and on employees and how the setting might be changes, and centers like the AI and decision science that is looking at the applied AI for decision makings and how this could be the way that organizations have to become much more process efficient. But we connect with other centers, so Dave mentioned before in the digital world the importance of technology. So the Global Development Institute, for example, is looking at digital infrastructures in the global south, so the implications of that digital infrastructures in the economy will be something that the digital economy theme will be also looking at. There are other departments and research groups that I will be really love to connect to our themes. So I don't have a slide on activities, sorry about that. So, but I have my list on this. Hopefully that'll be okay. The thing is, one of the differences we want to do with the digital futures is to avoid the idea of silos. So as a deputy director of one of the institutes in our university, we always have complained, if you want, about the difficulty of connecting with other institutes and work together. And this is exactly what we want to break with the Digital Futures platform and any other platforms within the university. So many of the activities you have seen, are really activities in collaboration between theme leads and between themes. So the the hackathon that Lucan mentioned before, it will be in collaboration between digital economy and digital culture, yes, digital culture, thank you. But also, we are really working hard to think on what are the initiatives that will help us to create that capacity building within the institution to be ready for that major bids that we can apply later on and be more successful. So that's really the objectives we have. We are going to do podcasts. I think that will be a task for every one of us. The idea of the podcast really is to make sure that we are able to disseminate the good research we are doing, first internally and then to the work outside. As part of the conferences, the Manchester Institute of Innovation Research is organizing one in the summer on R&D management, and we are expecting to have a specific session that will be a professional development workshop on AI and the use of AI in research, and we really hope to open that to the full university. But I don't have a long list, don't have any slide. That's all from me. Thank you very much.